right? Right, rightists represent the interest of the elite class. Elite class. Next, they believe in preservation of culture and tradition. Next, they do not believe that man is so rational that man can be given opportunity to question traditions. ठीक है, राइट नेक्स्ट ऐसे लिखो फासिज्म, ऐसे लिखो फासिज्म इज एक्सट्रीम राइटिज्म. Fascism is extreme rightism. Next you write, it is known as phenomena of mass politics. मतलब expansion of democracy. Expansion of democracy या universal adult franchise. Earlier there used to be property qualification, educational qualification for votes. तो जब masses without education and masses are poor, तो democracy बिल्कुल अपने worst form में है, वही fascism है. ठीक है. So these are some prominent schools. Now you can quickly write the concepts. We have not done federalism, unitary. Okay, so just precisely let us write. In India all are fascists. सब fascist ही है. जहाँ mass politics है, educated नहीं है, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम क्या है, कुछ को फासिस्ट बोल दो, लेकिन सब एक ही तो है. अब इंडिया में क्या बोलते हैं, ये पार्टी कम्युनल है, वो पार्टी सेक्युलर है. सेक्युलर तो कोई भी नहीं है. कांग्रेस सेक्युलर है. 1984 राइट्स किसने किए? तो लेकिन ब्रांडिंग हो गई कि ये कम्युनल है, वो सेक्युलर है. तो पॉलिटिक्स लैंग्वेज अलग ही है. पॉलिटिक्स में बेस्ट है, इनकी बात सुनो नहीं है क्या बोलते हैं. एक्सट्रीम लेफ्ट के लिए कोई टर्म नहीं है, लेफ्ट ही है, अलग से कोई टर्म नहीं है. लेफ्ट वाले कुछ कर नहीं पाए एक्चुअली कि टर्म और बनता. ठीक है, ये लेफ्ट ही नहीं हो पाया तो एक्सट्रीम कहाँ करेंगे ये सब. चलो अब जल्दी से लिखो. नेक्स्ट कॉन्सेप्ट लिखो. यूनिटरी फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट. यूनिटरी, यूनिटरी का एग्जाम्पल ब्रिटेन. ब्रिटेन यूनिटरी की डेफिनेशन क्या होती है, लिखो. राइट, व्हेन the powers of provincial and local governments are either devolved or delegated by union, devolved or delegated by union. और फेडरलिज्म में लिखो फेडरलिज्म. अभी आई विल एक्सप्लेन डिवॉल्व डेलीगेटेड, लेकिन अभी लिखो फेडरलिज्म. राइट, व्हेन the powers of the provincial and local governments are original, comma, coming from the constitution rather than union, ठीक है. अब पहले ये जो लिखा है उसको समझने के लिए दो टर्म्स समझ लो. एक टर्म है डेलीगेशन, दूसरा डिवोल्यूशन, तीसरा डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन. Have you heard these terms? You know the difference? You know the difference? बताओ.
Delegation is by executive order.
Okay. Very good. So devolution, delegation, devolution, decentralization. This is like suppose central government, ठीक है, provincial. We can also talk about local level, ठीक है. तो if powers of the provincial government जैसे state are given by executive order, तो वो होगा delegation. तो ये सबसे सिंपलेस्ट एंड वीकेस्ट है. एग्जीक्यूटिव ने दिया और एग्जीक्यूटिव एज एंड व्हेन टेक इट बैक, ठीक है. लेकिन जब ये पावर्स सेंटर प्रोविंसेस मतलब अपर एंड लोअर आ गई बाय लेजिस्लेचर, तो लेजिस्लेचर ने लॉ बनाया तो उसको क्या कहते हैं, डिवॉल्व्ड. ये थोड़ा बेटर स्टेटस है बिकॉज यू कैन नॉट टेक इट बैक इजीली. यू कैन टेक इट बैक ओनली बाय ब्रिंगिंग लॉ, ठीक है. डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन मतलब वेयर सेंटर की पावर ऑल्सो कमिंग फ्रॉम द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, प्रोविंसेस की कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, कोई इंफीरियर सुपीरियर नहीं है, देन इट इज डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन, ठीक है. नाउ यू टेल मी, इन इंडिया बिटवीन सेंटर एंड स्टेट फेडरलिज्म has been adopted, or between center and state, or I'll say in India between center and state जो distribution of power है, it is delegation, devolution or decentralization. Decentralization. तो फेडरलिज्म में हमेशा डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन होगा, ठीक है. और पंचायत और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स में डिवोल्यूशन, ठीक है, तो पंचायत पावर डिपेंड ऑन स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर, तो डिवोल्यूशन या डेलीगेशन. यू हैव अंडरस्टूड दिस टर्म्स. विच अमेंडमेंट? 73rd, 74th, इसीलिए तो बता रहे हैं. 73rd Amendment Act introduced 11th schedule which list the functions, but they are not automatically given to panchayats. They will be given only by parliament, only by state legislature, because they are subjects of state government. ठीक है, you understand these three words? Delegation means it is my power, I am giving it to you, I'll take it anytime. तो executive did it on its own, तो easiest है, I can take it back. और तुम्हारी ये सबसे weakest power है. तुमको कौन सी power मिलेगी जब तुम्हारे लिए best है? Decentralization, क्योंकि वो constitution से है. If that power is taken, you have to bring amendment. उससे थोड़ी सी वीक कौन सी है? डिवोल्यूशन, कि हमें लॉ से ये पावर है. अगर इफ़ यू आर टेकिंग माई पावर, यू हैव टू पास द लॉ. दोनों हाउस से पास करो, प्रेसिडेंट के एसेंट, तब जा करके यू कैन चेंज. ठीक है, यू हैव अंडरस्टूड दीज थ्री टर्म्स. सो फेडरलिज्म, यू हैव रिटन फेडरलिज्म. तो फेडरलिज्म में लोअर लेवल की पावर्स, when unitary you have written. In unitary, this enjoys either delegated or devolved. और federalism में they enjoy original powers. ऐसा कोई है जिसको ये समझ नहीं आया? आ गया समझ में? यूनिटरी में यूनियन, जैसे ब्रिटेन क्या है? यूनिटरी. ब्रिटेन में गवर्नमेंट ऑफ स्कॉटलैंड, वेल्स, नॉर्दर्न आयरलैंड, सो दे हैव डिवॉल्व्ड पावर्स. ओके, Scotland and all, they do not have their original powers. Is this clear? Now just write comparison between unitary and confederation. Right, confederation is opposite of unitary. ठीक है, तो opposite of unitary means, देखो राइट, इन यूनिटरी सेंटर गिव्स पावर टू द यूनिट्स. ठीक है, अब लिखो कॉन्फेडरेशन. इन कॉन्फेडरेशन, units create center. Example, SARC. तो ये जो कंट्रीज हैं, कंट्रीज ने अपनी पावर दे करके एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनाया. तो सेंटर क्या है? वीक है. कॉन्फेडरेशन इज अपोजिट ऑफ यूनिटरी. ये समझ में आया? अब नेक्स्ट लिखो. या नो, यूएसए इज अ फर्स्ट फेडरेशन. नो, फेडरेशन कैन बी कमिंग टुगेदर, होल्डिंग टुगेदर. ठीक है, यस, सब, कोई भी रीजनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. अब लिखो डिफरेंस इन फेडरेशन एंड कॉन्फेडरेशन. Difference in federation and confederation. Here you write, federation is indestructible, indestructible union. Full stop. States have no right to secede. They cannot go out. Have no right to secede. Secede. They cannot go out of the union. Okay? Full stop. No right to conduct independent foreign policy. Or confederation is a destructible union. Destructible union. Units have right to secede and have independent foreign policy. Example, former USSR. ठीक है, अगर यूएसएसआर कैसे डिस्ट्रॉय हो गया, क्यों डिस्ट्रक्ट, वो कॉन्फेडरेशन था. ईयू तो कॉन्फेडरेशन है, वो कोई भी निकल सकता है. नहीं, तुमको ये सब क्या कहाँ. Forget starting, we are not studying history. According to US Supreme Court, USA is an indestructible union of indestructible states. Okay? Why you are so much in tension? कहाँ तुम कौन सी किताब पढ़ हैं? दो बार कहीं गलत पढ़ लिया. वो तो सही है, यूएसए का नहीं जा सकता, ये नहीं लिखा था. लिखा ये था इंडिया इज अ indestructible union of destructible states, और USA is a indestructible union of indestructible states. जा वहाँ नहीं सकता कहीं. क्या स्टेट, स्टेट्स नए स्टेट्स जैसे इंडिया में बनते हैं, क्यों नहीं बन सकते? तुमको ये सब किसने बताया? कहीं भी लोगों का मनाएगा तो बना सकते हैं, लेकिन यूएसए में अगर बनाना पड़ा तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में अमेंडमेंट करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, अब फ्लोरिडा ओरिडा तो लिए तो इन्होंने, लेकिन स्टेट्स की टेरिटरी यूनियन कैन नॉट चेंज ऑन इट्स ओन. You need to have an amendment. Now these are all basic concepts. Any problem? No. So now let us start with this first topic, Indian Constitution, historical underpinnings. Indian Constitution, historical underpinnings. Underpinnings. Oh. or evolution of Indian Constitution. Evolution. Historical underpinnings and evolution. So historical underpinnings में we have to study different acts under the British government, and evolution, the process of the formation of the Constituent Assembly. Historical underpinnings समझ गए? तो historical underpinnings में we have to study from regulating act to Indian Independence Act from 1773 to 1947. ठीक है? अब for exam मेंस के लिए you just prepare two topics. One is 1919, other is 1935. But there are a lot of questions from prelims point of view. Okay? So beside this, if you want to do revision, you can do from Lakshmikant. Okay? You all have purchased Lakshmikant? वरना you could have purchased DD बासु, कम से कम सही तो है वो. ठीक है, हैं? खरीद ही लिया. ठीक है. Okay. Okay. So constitutional developments and its nature. So here we can divide from 1857. So developments before 1857 and after. And you have to understand the nature of this evolution. Okay. So till 1857 it was company rule. And India was very fragmented type of administration. So generally they tried to centralize so that country can be administered. Okay. This centralization will continue even after. So after revolt of 1857 there is a declaration of Queen Victoria, and since then it is under the, or you can say, rule of the crown. Okay. In rule of the crown also, initially what we will see, there is centralization, but as national movement kept on developing demands, so gradually started the introduction of the representative bodies, but they have not introduced the responsible body. So first was Government of India Act 1919 and then 1935. Okay. So we will first see the company rule, and under the company rule the prominent acts, first is like Regulating Act, 1773, Pitt's India Act, 1784, then 3 Charter Acts. ठीक है, 1793 1813, 1833, 4 charter acts, huh? 53 also. ठीक है, और है नहीं, regulating was not charter act, regulating was different. Okay, so charter acts used to be renewed for 20 years. This charter was not prescribed that it was 20 years, because by that time the situation was like almost such that the administration has to be taken in the hands of the British government and will not be left to the company. Okay. Now, when you study these acts, basically we will see in there are two dimensions. Okay. So, British Parliament working or trying to make changes at two levels. First is like internal administration of the company, reforms within the company. Okay. And second was how company will administer India. Two level the changes were happening, plus changes were also happening like companies functions. One set of functions commercial functions and other set of functions political or administrative functions. So we have to see which act made what changes. Is this clear? And actually East India Company is also the product of capitalism and colonialism, and as capitalism's philosophy was changing, the attitude of the British Parliament was also changing. Maintaining companies' monopoly and ending the monopoly. It also has a dimension of the conflict between monarch and parliament. Okay. So, we will see these developments and how the commercial functions have shifted. Okay. So, you have understood the back structure. So, now before that I will tell you the stages of capitalism, or this is all colonialism, and colonialism is a phenomena of capitalism. Had capitalism not been there, colonialism, टेस्ट पेपर आ गया? अच्छा, जैसे आ जाए बता देना. ठीक है, देर मत करना क्योंकि वो एक क्लास और है. तो कैपिटलिज्म और colonialism, these are all interlinked phenomena. ठीक है, because capitalism works on profit. So how will you make profit each time? You have to expand, look for new markets and cheaper products. कौन? बुर्जुआ. बुर्जुआ तो वो है, क्लास को बोलते हैं, कैपिटलिस्ट को. कैपिटलिज्म तो इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम है, उसको जो, और कैपिटलिस्ट के लिए फ्रेंच जर्मन वर्ड है बुर्जुआ, ठीक है, वही तो बता रहे हैं, क्योंकि ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी के ये सब जो चेंजेस हैं इसी के फ्रेमवर्क में यू विल अंडरस्टैंड. ओके, सो कैपिटलिज्म goes for colonialism. Why? Because of profit. So Britishers, they used to say they have come to India for what? To make profit. This they used to say. They used to say like this. They used to say that, or they have come here on a civilizing mission. And it was a white man's burden. To civilize the barbarians. ठीक है? You know about J.S. Mill? So he gave the theory of freedom of speech and expression. And he used to call Indians what? Barbarians. ठीक है, तो barbarians को civilize करने आए थे, but actually it was not white man's burden, it was a drain of wealth from India. And so basically it was, what was imperialism? So Britishers said imperialism is सुधार उधार जो भी बोलो, but it was actually colonialism. ठीक है? Now what does the term colony denotes? India is a colony. What does that mean? कॉलोनी. कॉलोनी वर्ड जो है वो एक नेगेटिव वर्ड है, ठीक है. कॉलोनी, कॉलोनी, कॉलोनी जैसे बैक्टीरिया मेक्स कॉलोनी इन आवर बॉडी. बैक्टीरिया इज अ पैरासाइट. इट टेक्स आवर ब्लड and flourishes. ठीक है, तो इंडिया क्या है? कॉलोनी. और दे वेर ड्रेनिंग आवर ब्लड. ब्रिटिशर्स हैं बैक्टीरिया. और बैक्टीरिया अगर बॉडी में जमता है, इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू टेक देम आउट. ठीक है, तो एक बैक्टीरिया है और एक होस्ट है. ठीक है, तो इस इनमें जो रिलेशन है वो कैसा है? हियर बैक्टीरिया विल एक्सप्लॉइट द होस्ट. ठीक है, तो दादा भाई नौरोजीज थियरी, ड्रेन ऑफ वेल्थ. ठीक है, सो टेकिंग द वेल्थ फ्रॉम हियर and bringing, and so when this colony word is also a Marxist word actually. Okay, so colony means two countries, Britain and India, where one party will be benefiting and the other party will be sufferer or loss. Leads to the drain of wealth. Drain of wealth will lead to poverty and underdevelopment. So the poverty in third world countries is a product of colonialism. ठीक है? Now somebody was asking mercantile capitalism and all. So capitalism evolves in stages. The initial capitalism is mercantile. Okay? Where you take product from one, sell to the other. Ab East India Company was a merchant company. So East India Company was making profits, and East India Company got the charter or got right of monopoly trade from the king or queen, charters that you have a monopoly. In return, East India Company has to pay some amount to the king. Okay? So merchants were becoming rich, king was in benefit, but merchant capitalism does not help the country. So against merchant capitalism, Adam Smith, he was a critic of merchant capitalism, and he wrote this book, Wealth of Nations, and he said we have to go for industrial capitalism because merchants were keeping money with themselves. So you have to do industrial capitalism. You have to promote the industries. This will create job, this will improve the condition, and it has to be based on free market economy. It has to be based on competition, and the monopoly companies should end. Okay? So these gradually capitalists became more in number in Britain, and the powers of parliament was increasing. Capitalists had right to vote. So the industrial capitalists were representing the parliament, and kings and merchants were together, and they were putting pressure on the parliament to somehow end the monopoly and give them also opportunity to trade with India and other colonies. Okay? So British Parliament was looking for opportunity to intervene in the company affairs and regulate its functioning and gradually end its monopoly rights. Okay? So, and later on it becomes finance capitalism, not required now. So this was the domestic politics that was happening and impacting the East India Company. Is this clear? So now you first write about Regulating Act 1773. So what is the significance of the act? What is the significance, right? The first act of British Parliament to regulate the commercial and administrative affairs of the company. ठीक है? Now you write background of the Regulating Act. in points you can write. First point you write, right? East India Company got royal charters which gave it monopoly to trade with India and East, right in bracket, China also. ठीक है? Now write next point, right? East India Company manipulated the political conditions in India and became, right inverted commas, semi-sovereign entity. Semi-sovereign entity, very powerful entity. ठीक है? So right now before regulating, अब यहाँ पे ऐसे लिखो, right? The system of administration, right? Subheading लिखो, system of administration before regulating act. Here you write dual government introduced by Lord Clive. ठीक है? So basically write next paragraph, right? As a result of Battle of Plassey, which year? 57? Huh? 57, na? As a result of Battle of Plassey, 1757, and Battle of Buxar, 1764. Comma, Bihar, Bengal came under the administration of East India Company. Full stop, right? Right. Purposefully, East India Company kept Awadh, O-U-D-H, yeah, A-W-A-D-H, Awadh, as a buffer state. So Nawab of Awadh was also part of Battle of Buxar. So direct administration नहीं लिया. Awadh, O-U-D-H, Awadh, yeah, A-W-A-T-H, Awadh. They kept it as a buffer state. ठीक है? Right, full stop. Right, to protect companies' territories from Marathas and Afghan invasions. Marathas and Afghan invasions. Okay? Right. Right. Clive introduced dual administration. Clive introduced dual administration. तो dual administration में right first दीवानी rights, दीवानी rights मतलब fiscal, FIS tax revenue, दीवानी rights came under company. Revenue administration came under company. And next write nizamat, or administration of criminal justice system. Nizamat, criminal justice system was kept under the Nawab. Okay. Nawab or Nawab of Bengal. Yeah. Buffer state, you make a state for a protection of your territory is a buffer state. जैसे नेपाल, नेपाल इज अ बफर स्टेट बिटवीन चाइना एंड नेपाल. ऐसे अपने प्रोटेक्शन के लिए टू मेजर पावर्स मेक वन स्टेट. एक तरीके का एक लैंड होता है सो दैट आर्मीज डू नॉट कम इनटू डायरेक्ट कॉन्फ्रोंटेशन. ठीक है, राइट. अब लिखो व्हाट टाइप ऑफ, राइट, व्हाट टाइप ऑफ गवर्नेंस कंपनी हैड एस्टैब्लिश्ड. फर्स्ट राइट पॉइंट नंबर 1, dual administration. Dual administration created lot of confusion. Comma, people were oppressed by both, oppressed by both company as well as नवाब. तो इसीलिए तुम्हारे ग्रीवेंसेस हैं लोकल्स के लिए. दे हैव एस्टैब्लिश्ड इन रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट द सुप्रीम कोर्ट एट कैलकटा. तो उस तरीके का भी कोई सिस्टम नहीं था. तो इट वाज लाइक पीपल वेयर वेरी मच exploited and oppressed, and it was a dual administration, and so there was all power but no accountability. Fine. Second thing, what happened, company followed very irresponsible policies. It applied, as a revenue administration was under them, so high rent, but they have not put or they have not done any sort of expenditure in the interest of the people, to the extent that companies' policies ultimately led to the famine in Bengal, and many people died in this famine, and company and its supporters, they were involved in the hoarding of grains. So these type of developments, these news, this gave an opportunity to the parliament to intervene in the affairs of the company and go for its regulation. Is this clear? So write second point, write company charged heavy rent or revenue charged heavy rent or land revenue, comma, destroyed food crops for the cultivation of cash crops like poppy and indigo, comma, to make profits it got involved in the hoarding of grains, comma, ultimately culminated into the famine. ठीक है. Now write third point, next point, write in England, yeah, in Britain there was demand to regulate the affairs of company next point, right, many prominent persons were shareholders of the company. ठीक है, comma, hence British Parliament had to intervene because company requested heavy loan. Company requested heavy loan from the government. Full stop, right. Next point लिखो, right. Company servants had become corrupt. Comma, they were transferring lot of wealth, but company was running in losses. Shivam, test paper देखो जल्दी. Was running in losses. ठीक है, तो ideological environment, political, many things led to the regulating act. Okay, so write ऐसे लिखो, administrative structure of the company. Administrative structure of the company. Right, up till now the decisions in the company were taken by court of directors. right, in bracket 24 in number. Right, these directors were appointed by the shareholders of the company. ठीक है, और उसको बोलते थे कोर्ट ऑफ प्रोप्राइटर्स. तो दिस इज हाउ कंपनीज इंटरनल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन वाज गोइंग ऑन. नाउ यू राइट व्हाट चेंजेस. अब लिखो व्हाट चेंजेस वेयर इंट्रोड्यूस्ड बाय रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट. What changes were introduced by regulating act. We will do test now. I think. जो नहीं कर पाए तो घर से कम फिलहाल यहाँ पे देखो तो. या क्या प्रोप्राइटर्स, शेयर होल्डर्स या ओनर्स को प्रोप्राइटर्स कहते हैं. तो प्रोप्राइटर्स अपॉइंट करते थे. आई तो लाइक दीदी बासु ही आसान है वैसे. लक्ष्मीकांत इतना फैक्चुअल है, गलत है, ना कुछ समझाया है, ना कोई बैकग्राउंड है. अब जैसे ऐसे सारा कुछ डिपेंड करता है समझ पे. तो समझने के लिए मेरे हिसाब से तो डीडी बासु ही अच्छी बुक थी. मतलब हमें जो आता है वो उसी के बेसिस पे आता है. हमको तो कभी समझ नहीं आया लक्ष्मीकांत क्या लिखा है उन्होंने. मेरे हिसाब से तो बस टॉपिक वाइज करते जाओ ना. किसमें? अरे अब एक किताब है ना तुम्हारे पास लक्ष्मीकांत, जिसने नहीं खरीदे वो नहीं है ना, तो बासु खरीदो. बासु में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डेवलपमेंट बहुत अच्छे से आसान है. ज़रूरत प्रीलिम्स के लिए, मेंस के लिए नहीं. कौन सी इंडियन पॉलिटी? हैव यू परचेज लक्ष्मीकांत? नहीं, तब बासु खरीदो. अगर खरीद लिए लक्ष्मीकांत तो रहने दो बस. ठीक है. सो टुडे we have to finish class 5 minutes before because crash course is also starting. So you finish it. There will be polity class on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. ठीक है. अब आगे से रेगुलरली मंडे, ट्यूसडे, वेडनेसडे पॉलिटी होगा और थर्सडे, फ्राइडे, सैटरडे ज्योग्राफी होगा. ठीक है. और कल 11 to 5 2 क्लासेस एक साथ होंगे फॉर करंट अफेयर्स. Okay, so I think I'll do on Monday. Yeah.